The Consortium of Health and Military Performance, also known as CHAMP, of the Uniformed Services University of Health and Science, known as USUHS, is conducting a study to understand a possible genetic link between sickle cell trait, known as SCT, and exercise-related events, known as EREs, such as exertional rhabdomyolysis, muscle damage, heat stroke, and or collapse. We are inviting African-American men and women with sickle cell trait and their family members to participate. Participating in the study will require you to complete a health history questionnaire, a form authorizing our study physician to gather health information from you and your healthcare provider, as well as a one-time blood donation. In order to qualify for the study, you must meet the following criteria: be African American, be sickle cell trait positive, be able to read, speak, and understand English, be between the ages of 18 and 80, and currently not being treated for any mental or psychological disorders. Participation is completely voluntary, and your decision will not impact your healthcare. The results for this study are for research purposes only and are not intended to directly benefit any individual for confidentiality reasons. However, the results of this study are intended to help better shape policies and associated health risks affecting the SCT community. Participants may be compensated for their time. To join the study, or if you would like additional information regarding the study, please contact the study team by phone, area code 240-479-9514, or email sctstudy-ggg@usuhs.edu.
The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's Friday.
It's a new month.
Oh my God. Welcome to the ladies' room.
Welcome to the ladies' room.
Good morning. It is September.
Yes.
You know, the days are just running into each other for me.
No longer birthday month.
I know. And I feel so bad because I'm still celebrating. I'm in somebody else's month now. Who does that, Brenda? Hi, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Kim. So what's happening? How was your week?
It was a very long week for me. Very long week. But I mean, you know, I got through it. Good week.
Yeah.
Overall.
Okay. 'Cause, you know, they drag along sometimes, and sometimes there's so much going on until I'm like, is it Wednesday already or it's Thursday?
Thursday now. Friday.
Good morning. Hey.
Thank you for joining us this morning. We have an exciting show, I think.
I'm just totally over the top with it. I'm excited as well.
But before we get into it, I just wanted to bring up, you know, that the acting legend, icon, sex symbol, Burt Reynolds died.
I know. I heard that. That was really something that I really was not expecting to hear.
At the age of 82.
Oh my God! Well, he lived a good long life, so there's nothing to be mad about that.
True.
I mean, and he did his thing. He worked, and during his prime years, he was just nonstop.
Yeah, and we also wanted to give homage to
Who?
Mr. Morris.
Oh yeah.
The poet's dad. So, you know, rest in power.
Yes, for real. Seriously, that's a serious. You know.
Two great losses. So.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, establishing a studio as an African American man, that was really big and huge. And just to keep it going and to say, look, and pass it on
to us, yeah.
Because that's what it's about. It's about your lineage and your legacy and what you can do. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, we love you, P, and we're here for you.
Always.
Oh, we love you. So who's our woman of the week today? I think.
My woman of the week, I chose my mom.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, go ahead.
Mimi, she's a mother of four. She's always worked hard, you know, raising us, which was not easy to do. She was our teacher, counselor, judge, you know, just everything. And even though my dad was there, you know, my mom was always there.
Mm-hmm.
She's always there.
She was?
So, yeah, always there for us. She raised us, like I said, which is not an easy task. Being a mom myself, I see a lot of the sacrifices that she made. One being her career. And, one being her career, which she put on hold. She paced herself through, while raising us. She raised us to make sure that we were good and, graduating on time and everything like that. And then she went back and finished and got her nursing degree. She was an awesome nurse. Excuse me. She retired. She's retired now, but I just want to thank my mom. Love you, Mom.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I chose Cicely Tyson. I'm sorry, because number one, she's 92.
Wow.
And she's still working, but she set the pace and the precedence for a lot of African American women to be able to say that I can, because she was not the normal looking African American that was acceptable back in the day. I mean, she was born in 1924. She was really dark skinned and had African American features, or what we consider African American features. And so that was not appealing to the public, because they pushed Caucasian women down our throat from day one.
Not appealing to Hollywood.
Exactly. And so for her to fight through that and to say, you know what, I can, I am, and I will, she did. I really respect that.
And she's still here today.
She's still here. And I saw her
doing the same thing
at the Aretha Franklin's funeral with the jamming hat on.
With that hat.
Like, okay.
Did she kill it with that hat?
Oh, my God. She murdered it. But, she has a lot of credits. I mean, there's just too many for me to go into. But I really dug her in Sounder. I was little and I watched that, and that really affected me because...
Me as well.
I wasn't accustomed to that, or we wasn't used to that, but just to see that.
But we knew it existed, and then to see that, that was
so she was doing her thing, and I'm just, proud to just be of the same race as she is. Just totally proud of her. She did her thing. She was on Broadway. I mean, it just, no
countless
words.
Credits.
Exactly.
To her.
And then still here.
Still here, still doing the same thing.
And always giving out the best advice, the best situation for people, period. Humanitarian. And that's important as well, to understand that we do have to, as we each move and develop and grow and transform, that we have to pass that on to someone else and let them know what it is. So yeah, that was awesome. I really just want to say to her, hats off. And we're going to talk about a couple little other things real quick, because we do have a special guest in the house today. But we're going to talk about a couple things. I wanted to go into a little bit about the programs for Black single moms. There are a lot of programs that are available, and you have to take advantage of it, because there is the Black mother who is single, and they say, okay, if you're working and you're single and you make a certain amount of money, then you don't qualify for the welfare program. So there are programs that can help you become even greater than what you are. And I found one, and it was called Extended Families.
Extended Families.
And it is for that purpose. If you are working and you do not make a lot of money, but you make more than the wage of welfare,
for the welfare.
They will help you. They will employ you. They will help you get into a better situation. They will help you in your life. And I like to give that number out. It's called Extended Families, and the number is 818-937-3766. Any of our single moms out there, it is just important to find out what you can do. It is important to get information, because once you are informed, your decision-making process becomes
a lot easier
and better. And better.
Because there are resources out there. Now, notice it's an 818 number. Is it for the Valley or is it for LA? Do you know?
Well,
county?
Well, it's at Los Angeles County. It's it is a nonprofit organization. So that, they do have stipulations, but my whole thing is call and find out.
The help is there.
And if they can't help you, dial that number and find out if you can get another number. Okay.
Exactly.
And they had another program called the Bridge of Hope. It's just a lot of things that we are missing
out here. A lot of people just don't know, because there's no commercials for it, or we just don't know. People are busy. You miss billboards, you miss flyers. So
the Bridge of Hope is basically for the homeless.
Okay.
And I know there's a lot going on in LA with the homeless right now, but it is also something that can help you establish yourself, because just because you're homeless, it doesn't mean that you're hopeless. It doesn't mean that you cannot achieve and meet your goals. Maybe you just need a hand. Maybe you just need somebody to tell you. Maybe you just need to know that you can. But for the Bridge of Hope, now this is an out-of-state number, but they are all over the place.
Nationwide, I believe.
Yes, but the number that I did find, because I researched it, and it is a 610 number, and it's 610-280-0280. And that number again for the Bridge of Hope for the Homeless is 610-280-0280. And so I wanted to make sure that as our program for encouraging and uplifting women, that we basically do something.
Encourage women.
And make sure that they understand that you can do it. It does not matter where you are in life. It does not matter. Lowest, bottom point, it does not matter. Pick yourself up. Know that you can. Generate a plan. Set some small goals for yourself. And you have to move forward.
And I just wanted to retouch on a story that we reported on last week regarding the I Promise School, LeBron James. You know, I by no means, mean LeBron James is a bad person or anything like that. I love LeBron James. I believe that he is the GOAT both on and off court.
Okay.
Just wanted to put that out there. But my whole gripe was with not the school as a whole, because the school is great. You know, it's doing wonderful things. My whole gripe was with the teachers. When I said the staff, there wasn't diversity in the staff. I should have, I was just being sarcastic. I need to be more specific. I meant the teachers, because I do believe that, we do need more male black teachers. And, of course, other, races or whatever. But I was just upset at the fact that I thought the I Promise School was a private school, and it's a public school, because when it's a public school, the state runs it. Right. But with a private school, and, we're working towards it, so, I know,
but the thing I liked about it, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but the thing I liked about the school, the whole concept, is that he took a pool, and he chose the children who
needed it the most.
Yes, who are doing the worst, who are reading below grade level. Yes. And I don't care if it's ran by the state or private, but if you can take that concept and bring it to life and change your life, then I think that's worth it.
And I salute him for that. And I'm just looking for the day where we can have a private school which ran by us, or we can teach our kids, especially our young black boys, politics, home economics, financial stability,
commerce.
So that's my whole thing. That's my whole concept.
No, and you're absolutely on the right track, and I'm with you, because we do need more of that, period. But when I read the article, it was that he was sitting down talking with the principal, and she was saying, well, we could do this and we can do that, but we have to wait for this. And I said, no, let's get on it right now.
Yeah.
So for him to even make a move right there, I salute him.
And he always speaks on our issues, too. So, yeah, like I said, he is the GOAT.
Yeah, and I like the shop. I like the shop, and I'm just proud of him.
So, yeah, big
but that was good.
Him.
Okay, for that. And then there was another little subject that I want to talk about before we go to break. Mm-hmm. Okay, Bank of America.
What? Talk about it. Let's talk about
that?
it.
Bank of
Freezing
America.
accounts.
Freezing accounts. That is like, wait a minute. If you think I'm not a United States citizen, because that's what it was about. Yeah. If they felt that they couldn't legitimately bring in documentation for the account to withdraw the money, how did they get it in there? You know what I mean?
So you took it in the account.
Why didn't you do all that at the beginning of it?
Why was the account even open?
And if it's there, just give them their money and tell them, okay, we're going to shut down your account, but you can get your money. But here's your money. But don't tell me that you're about to hold my money because I don't have documentation proving that I'm a legalized citizen.
So that's not right.
That's not right. But at the same time, you opened the account for me. Bank of America.
And now you want to hold my money?
That was really interesting. I was a little upset about that. But they actually saying that they're freezing accounts because the people cannot prove that they are a United States citizen.
But they opened the account for
they opened the account. Yeah. And I want to give a little shout out to Michael B. Jordan also.
Oh, yes.
Because he totally ripped the situation with his new deal. He did Just Mercy. But before he literally signed this contract, he said that, you know what, there's some policies and some things that needs to be changed. And one of them is African American making more decisions and behind the scenes. And so, believe it or not, Warner Brothers, HBO, Turner, Warner Media, they all agreed. So they're putting a policy in place so that they can have more African American people behind the scenes.
We shall see.
Well, what they did was they did put a committee together that would have to review an annual report and examining the diversity of the production to measure the progress of it. So we can stay tuned with that and just kind of keep touching base with it to see how that grows.
It to the forefront.
And how that moves. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, we're going to take a break.
We're taking strides. We're doing things.
Yeah, good things are happening. Sometimes we might think it's not moving fast enough.
Yeah, true. But it's moving.
It is moving. It is moving.
And
the other little thing before we go to break, the Owens guy from The Cosby Show. Did you hear about that story?
The one that was working at Trader Joe's?
Yes.
Yeah.
The girl, I think she was really trying to shame him.
She was.
And then it just backfired. And even
it got him more work. It got him work.
Yeah, put him back on the market. And then Nicki Minaj, I want to say one more thing about her real quickly, is that she totally... she did a scholarship. She has a little program out where she dished out 37 scholarships for children to complete school. And speaking of Owens, she also gave $25,000. She pledged $25,000 for him. So for the young lady who tried to shame him, that was a blessing in disguise for him, because then Tyler Perry picked him up for the haves and have-nots, and then Nikki popped over with the $25,000. So that's awesome. He's back in the game. But he did say prior to accepting the job that he wanted to audition for it. So that was so humble of him. This humbling experience. Right. And big ups to Nikki for the 37 recipients for her Student of the Game scholarship. So I'm digging that. We're going to go to commercial break, and we'll be back with our special guest.
Stay tuned.
Morris Media. Hey, welcome back to the Ladies' Room. I'm Brenda, and I want to introduce our special guest today. We have Clifton Jones, who is from Brooklyn, New York, and has traveled. His journey has been one that we're going to talk about today. Hi,
Hello.
Cliff.
How you doing? How you doing, ladies? How y'all doing today?
Good morning. Good morning.
So, Clifton, you're also known as C-Love.
C-Love.
A lot of
Cliff
people would know
Love.
you as C-Love.
Yep. That's me.
I just want to say that, after reading your bio, I have been knowing you for years, but I really didn't know what an extraordinary individual you are.
Wow.
I know. I mean, that's a personal touch. Just me knowing you as a friend and not on the business level. But as I read the bio, I am totally impressed. And I'm not easily impressed. But it's hot. It's really good. I mean, you started your career off. You were really young in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You were doing a thing.
Sorry, as a dancer, correct?
As
Backed
a
up
hip-hop
dancer.
dancer.
How was that?
That was phenomenal. It changed my life, leaving out of my community and being able to travel the world at the age of 17. It was life-changing.
Wow.
And so give us some. Tell us a little bit. You can talk and you get the mic.
Being a street dancer and battling different neighborhoods and from Marcy Projects to Fort Greene to Lafayette Gardens and just battling crews all over the city and being recognized and the streets were talking, and then here comes those three fly guys from Brooklyn called Houdini. It changed my life and just took me on the whirlwind. So it was awesome.
Yeah, I see that you've done a lot. Totally Public Enemy.
LL Cool J. What was that
Jazzy
like?
Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Yeah, man.
Eric B. and Rakim. Oh my God.
It was the early days.
And that gave you, that allowed you the opportunity to move forward. Because now my understanding and where I came on the scene is you were infusing the hip hop culture with fashion.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about that. How did you come from the backup dancer to let's just say
fashion scene,
product placement, all that?
Well, it was a organic and a paradigm shift. It was kind of simple because messing with the Houdini guys, everyone know that Houdini was known for their fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They were wearing Armani and Gucci back then. They were very, very fashion forward. And next thing I know, Jalil, because he was the leader of the group, and he was like, "Yo, Cliff, I want you to go out and pick out our pieces." And I was in charge of their clothes. I was a dancer, and I was also their valet. So every city we went to, I made sure that there was no holes in their clothing. Their clothes was cleaned. I laid everything out for them before every single show. That was a part of my job.
Oh.
And naturally, to fast forward, to make a long story short, I met a gentleman by the name of DJ Pooh.
Oh, okay.
That's a legendary producer, DJ, writer, Fridays, the whole 9 yards. Mm-hmm. And DJ Pooh came and he lived with me in New York for 3 years straight. He lived with me in my home with my family. And when he came back to Los Angeles, I made the decision several years later saying, "Yo, I'm going to move to L.A." And Pooh started doing all these St. Ives commercials. He was directing all these videos for Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, and he started writing movies. And he was like, "Cliff, why don't you do the wardrobe? Mm-hmm. You need to be a costume designer." I'm like, "What's a costume designer?" So I had to read the scripts, and next thing I know, I'm doing the wardrobe on all of his projects. And I had a relationship with a lot of the brands, from the Walker Wears, the Aniches, Meccas, Jabos,
Adidas.
Adidas as well.
What was it, Dada?
Dada and Dada footwear, and I was able to place their products in these music videos and in these movies, and I bridged the gap between that. I was getting paid from pulling them to do what I need to do, but I started consulting all of these urban brands because my thing was, I looked at the clothing as like rappers as well. Mm-hmm. It's all one thing. It's this hip hop culture, so it's no different. So I would take these people's products, Tony Shelman and Phil Pabon and all these great designers, and I put them in position to be in the music videos, which you would have to pay a lot of money to be in a video or even a motion picture. Mm-hmm. So I was able to bridge the gap and had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. So,
oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
To my understanding, you also were in charge of the designs for Dr. Dre for the movie The Wash.
Yeah, I did the costume designer on the film The Wash with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and DJ Pooh again. He wrote the film. So I was able to go in there and made the relationship. I'll never forget, I walked in the production office one morning and I was looking over the script, doing my breakdowns. And on the first page, the opening of the film, you see Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre inside of a Foot Locker. And they were supposed to be stealing shoes. So they had Jordans. So I looked at Pooh and I said, Pooh, you know, I'm over there rocking with those guys at Dada Footwear. Like, I want to put Dada in the movie. And, you know, Pooh is Johnny on the spot. Like, we get it. He said, throw me the script. I threw him the script, and he took a highlight, I'll never forget, and just crossed out Jordan and said, tell him, let's rock. So when you look at the movie The Wash, you see the Dada Footwear in the film, but having those relationships and my brother, he looked out.
Yeah, and that's Mark Jordan, right?
That's Mark Jordan, absolutely. Red from Friday.
Oh my God, yeah. And I wanted to say, I love him because his mind. His mind was adaptable. I mean, he saw a vision and he said, okay, let's do it. And he made it happen. It's one thing to think it, but it's another thing to execute it, you know. And for him to just take that marker, that's really huge. And say, we're going to take that out. Let's get that in. Let's go with it. Without even a second thought, just trusting what you said. But that's how you make moves.
That is how you make moves. And Brenda and I, we're going to have T-shirts, next month?
Yes.
So what could you do for us?
Whatever we need to do. I promise you.
We're designing.
Look at the
ladies'
logos
room
and make sure the fonts fly so I can incorporate it in what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
I would love to support
That's
you,
been our
sisters.
talk, but I'm just blown away. So you made the connections with them through the wash, and you did the footwear. You brought the brands.
Mm-hmm. I brought the brand.
And that's history making right there.
That is history
now, I don't know why that's not documented. That needs to be documented on this is a reality of what actually happened, and you need to get the kudos for that for our legacy. Because that started something really, really huge, and it's still rocking today.
Yes,
even put that with the football player. You know, I cannot pronounce his name. The one that
Kaepernick.
Yes, from that to this. Do you understand? That was product placement.
And you know, I want to say it's interesting. We're on this topic. I remember vividly. I was in the production office. We were getting ready to shoot the Snoop's Upside Your Head video.
Okay.
DJ Pooh directed it. It was like the last song or last video Snoop did on Death Row or whatever it was. And I remember 2 days before we actually shot, it was a huge production. That video cost over $1 million, by the way. We shot it over at the Sepulveda Pass. We had like 65, 70 SWAT team costumes. It was crazy. But I remember getting on the phone back then, forgot what year it was, and I got the corporate number to Converse, All Stars. No, sorry, it was Nike. It was Nike. And I talked to the marketing people at Nike back then. And I said, I'm shooting this music video for Snoop Dogg on Death Row Records, one of Dr. Dre's artists that he produced. And they said, hold on. I don't know how old they were, but they came back and they put me on speaker. I could tell. And they said, can you please explain? I'm thinking it's on and popping. Nike's about to bless us. And the people started laughing. They were laughing. They were chuckling. Like, they were basically like, we don't do that. We're not sending anything out to Snoop Dogg.
Oh.
Wow.
And that was then.
Back then. Yeah.
That was then.
Wow.
You know what I
Now
mean?
it's
And
a
then
different
fast
story.
forward later, you see our brother Eminem, and he had won, it was a Grammy or whatever, and he had on the Nike hat. So it was a paradigm shift. And, you know, thank God they brought young people in there who understood that really understood the culture and helped it move it forward. But you were dealing with people that didn't know the culture. Now, Nike's a part of the texture of the culture.
Right. Nike has picked up the band and started running with it.
But just to laugh about it.
That was
like, nah,
insulting. That was very insulting. Disrespectful. But because I remember when I first started off in the entertainment business, I used to go to this joint in Beverly Hills called Larry Parker's.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And there I met Carl Kanai with Cross Colors. And the very first photo shoot that he did, my children were a part of it. And yes, and Larry Parker's wife, Debbie Parker, was actually the photographer.
Wow.
And then they opened up Cross Colors right next door to Larry Parker's at the time, where we could walk out of the restaurant into Cross Colors. And at that point, they were bringing, which was Dr. Dre with the Chronic, Snoop when he first came out. Everybody would come to Larry Parker's and bring their music. So they're fusing the hip hop culture with the clothing, and they totally would bring their music to the venue and play it. By the time I heard it on the radio, I was like, "Oh my God! If they play the song one more time, so many times." But it was also it was Cross Colors, and I had another. It was another company that also
Walkaware.
Yes.
Rockaware.
Yes.
About that.
Yeah, Walkaware. It was like a W. It was like a flat line.
Yes, it wasn't Rockaware, but it was Walkaware, and it was Carl Kanai, Walkaware, and one more. But just to touch base on that, it was amazing how Cross Colors fused into the hip hop scene as well. You know, it's all a part of just having a concept and idea. Now, did you know that that's what you were doing, or was this something that just happened, or did you say this would be great, or how did you, where did that come from?
How did you make that your position?
I had to, because I couldn't go out and just shop for this and that because it wasn't going to fit the correct, of what I had to do in these films and these music videos. So I had to get the right products that were going to complement the talent, and that's what was popping back then. So it was a natural. Okay, yeah, I need to get this and I need to get that, and then at that point, a lot of these brands were reaching out to me, saying, "Hey, can you do that for us too? Can you do that for us too?" So next thing I know, I look up, my living room is full with boxes to the ceiling because all these brands was like, and that's when a lot of that East Coast, West Coast stuff started, and I was neutral. I'm out here rocking with my man Pooh,
right?
And he lived in New York, so he understood our, he knew everything about the hip hop culture living in New York, so he wasn't with all that. So we had a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was dope.
Now, I also see that you design album covers as well. So how did you get into designing?
Well, we started after that. Our name got out there really big. And the artists respected and they trusted us. So next thing I know, we were doing album covers. So we did one of them, the XO Experience, for this group called the Licks, the Alcoholics. And we did a Jimi Hendrix tribute. We did Jackie Robinson on J-Roll. And J-Roll was super. Give a shout out to my man, Dr. Robertson. He's phenomenal. And me and J-Ro would sit down for hours and just go over what their album covers and what their videos would be. And he would just let me run with it. Then I did the Art of War album cover for Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Okay.
And we dressed them in Mongolian war costumes.
Okay.
And we had to go to Warner Brothers Studios. They had reached out to a lot of different costume designers and all of these people. And one of my partners, Santana Westbrook, he worked in Warner Brothers, so we were able to go to the costume house at like 4 a.m. He was digging in this whole block and actually pull Mongolian war costumes from like 1700s.
Wow!
Yeah,
imagine that.
It was and I learned a lot in that culture. I mean, here I come from the hip hop culture, but it just goes to show you culture is culture.
Yeah.
And if you do your homework and you understand and you study it, you could go places.
It transcends.
Absolutely.
It transcends.
Absolutely.
And I also read where you did the Soul Plane situation.
Yeah, I did major product placement and branding in the movie Soul Plane. It was a gentleman that had it's a long story short, he had a wheel company. And he was trying to, he wanted to get out there big and make things happen for his collection. He wasn't making a lot of money yearly. and he wanted to get his company out there. And he was like maybe in the top 150, 200 wheel collections. And
when you say wheel, I'm not trying
rims.
rims.
I'm sorry,
rims.
What kind of wheel are we talking about?
Yeah, rims. And he said to us, he said, "Can we take our collection, and we want to be in every Dr. Dre video, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent. We want to be hot. We want to be the biggest wheel company in the world." So one of my partners, Charlie Mack, we had a meeting with the gentleman. We made one phone call, and it was the actual director of the film, Jesse Terrero.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And he came over to the Overbrook offices right there in Beverly Hills. And next thing I know, Charlie picked up the phone and he said, "Jesse, meet me over here." And we took this wheel company from like a couple of $100,000 to like maybe $5 million that year, $10 million and more the next year.
Did you get your bonus check?
And we had a situation we worked out with the gentleman as far as the monthly product placement, marketing.
Okay.
He had no clue. And to make a long story short, not only did we give him and his whole crew hundreds and hundreds and hundreds sets of wheels. When you looked at the intro of the movie Soul Plane, when they showed the commercials, they superimposed on green screen the actual rims on the plane.
Okay.
And then they built a store on the what do you call it, in the airline terminal.
Okay.
They built the store for the rim company. So like I said, this company went from having no street credibility, and we took them directly to the streets. And Soul Plane was like huge in the bootleg market. Like,
right.
Everywhere. Everybody had it. And it was an actual chain that Snoop wore. The owner of the wheel company said, "Look, I know these guys out of Miami." And they came out with this new technology with these spinning rim chains.
Okay.
Right. And no one in the world saw that. He came to my house at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. They flew in to meet me.
Right.
And they looked at me and said, "We want to make this for Snoop Dogg. And 18 karat gold. We're going to put the diamonds, bop, bop, bop. Can you put this in the movie? So I called up Dogg. I said, "Snoop, these guys want to give you this piece. I mean, this chain was probably like $50,000, $60,000.
Right.
I didn't know the level of where this was going to go. The world didn't see this spinning rim chain. Snoop put it on in the movie, and I went downtown like maybe the month later. Everybody was wearing. I was like,
had to have it.
And then I was like, man, where's that guy's phone number? I need a check.
You need your check, right?
But the name of the wheel company is called Lexani.
Okay, Lexani.
Lexani and Asante, and no one, when I say no one knew about them in the streets.
Okay.
So the movie Soul Plane catapulted them, and then we did a ton of music videos from Mariah Carey to Busta Rhymes, and we placed products for them, and we really blew up the spot with Lexani, and me and my man Charlie Mack made a huge contribution to their success. Then years later, I heard they had private planes and they had golf courses in their backyards. I'm like, damn.
Okay. Where's that contract? But what that says to me is it says that what your capabilities are and your potential, and to develop and to be creative enough to set that off like that for them. It means that you can also set off the next venture for yourself as well, because it's innovation. But I do understand, because I believe that when I first started, when I first started in the industry, I had no clue the power that I had. No clue. So, but what it will do, two things came out of it, what I just heard you say, is there needs to be seminars for the young ones coming up to let them know that this is the possibilities, this is what you can do. There needs to be a platform for your marketing, because that was brilliant.
That was
absolutely brilliant. And you need to take that and utilize it. I'm sure you are, because we're going to get to where you are now.
And I was going to say, too, like as far as like a speaking engagement, would you be willing to come in, like Brenda said, and speak with the youth? And, you know,
create a platform for them.
Not only that, let us know. Help us.
With the marketing. I think we got that.
Is that further down the line, though? Is that's something that you're interested in?
I don't, Brenda, reached out to me and said, I never, even when I was doing the Houdini stuff, and I I get choked up on them. I'm comfortable here today, but I'm really anxiety kicks in when it's time to do things like that.
I know. We'll work with you on that.
We'll give you
knowledge is power. We need that.
Yeah,
power.
we need that power. We need that information.
Phenomenal.
No,
thank you.
You're choking up. You have this. If you can go and make the phone calls just off the top of your head, all I can see you doing is saying, "I'm gonna call Converse."
Yeah,
and that's just something that just came to you naturally. Mm-hmm. So that's a natural ability that everyone does not possess. Just to think off the top of your head and create something
and
that's fabulous.
Get it done.
I think she's calling me.
Okay.
Oh, we have a caller.
We have a caller.
Does he, well, this is
Right.
Let's see. Okay.
Hi, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Miss Butterfly Freedom. I'm calling from the city of Compton this morning.
Hey, hi, Butterfly.
Hi, Butterfly. Good morning.
Well, good morning to you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm blessed. God is good.
All the time.
No, what's that? Tamar, won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Won't he do it? He got me up.
Hi,
He
Butterfly.
got me up this morning. Love brought me home last night, and it woke me up this morning. And it's the love of God.
Ooh, okay, the love of God. Okay, that's good. That's good. My mind went somewhere else.
Say hello to our guest.
So that's it, right?
Miss
It's
Butterfly.
easy to go somewhere else.
Okay, are you watching the show, Miss Butterfly? Did you say hello to the guests?
Did I say hello too? I'm sorry, call was coming in and it bleeped you out. What'd you say?
I said, Butterfly, can you
say hello to our guest, Mr. C. Love?
Hi, good morning, Mr. C. Love.
Good morning, Butterfly.
I'm sorry, I apologize, you guys. The call was coming in and it's interrupting our convo.
This is so fun. I love this. This is so official.
I apologize. There's a call coming in.
That's okay, Butterfly. Things happen. It's called It's called life, sweetie. It's called life.
Well, we're really glad that you called.
Do you have any questions or anything?
Thank you. Huh?
Do you have any questions or anything?
I don't have any questions this morning. I just wanted to share the love and check in with you guys.
Thank you so much.
You guys know God is good. And
all the
time.
Have a blessed
Remember
day.
that.
You too.
Okay, thank you.
Much.
Butterfly, thank you. Love you.
You're welcome. Love you too. Hope to see you later.
Okay. All right, you will. Bye-bye.
Okay.
That was Tamika.
Butterfly.
I want you to say Butterfly.
I know
who that is.
Okay, so that was awesome.
So back to C. Love. And that speaking engagement. You think about it.
No, we can put it in the works because I think that we pay thousands of dollars for our son to go to school to learn marketing. Mm-hmm. And you just did this off the top of your head, just with what's in your heart, what's in your soul, and what's in your mind. And you brought all that out and shared it with the world. And it transformed the world in many ways.
In many, many ways.
So I don't think that that's something to take lightly. And as I'm older and I understand more, that is something that can be packaged, pocketed, and you totally can, utilize it for your benefit and as well as benefiting others.
Now, I had a question. How did you become executive producer on Mike Epps' comedy show? Because that's huge.
Can we
skip that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I did have a question. So you said that you work with Houdini. I spoke to Jalil last night, and he absolutely loves you, in a brotherly way.
That's my brother.
He told me to ask you, who is your favorite? Who was your favorite? Who is your favorite?
Out of the Houdini crew?
Yes.
Trick question.
No, Jalil was really, Ecstasy is interesting. People saw X's face and they always called him Houdini because of the hat. Mm-hmm. So it's really interesting. But Jalil is the blueprint. Jalil is the writer, and he's the brainchild of the entire Houdini creation. And he was the visionary when it came to the fashion, to the stage shows, and I learned a lot from him. We had a really good relationship. He treated me like an equal. It wasn't a thing where, you know, you guys are the dancers and you're this and that. It was never like you're on a lower totem pole.
Okay,
and
that's
one
important.
thing I learned growing up early on with those cats, and it was fair across the board. It wasn't corny.
Right, that's important. Being humble in any state of being that you're in is extremely important. And I do believe that we all have to treat everyone as we want to be treated.
Yeah,
doesn't matter how much money you get,
pole.
doesn't matter any of that. It's just still understand that that's another human, and without that person, something would be missing.
Correct.
And so I appreciate humbleness. So he totally
he taught me how to master the square. Don't let them see you coming, and be humble. And you don't have to talk about and be braggadocious about anything. Just your presence is strong, and be strong within. Open up your third eye. I learned a lot from him off the scene, and I learned that level of being humble. And like he said, some people think I'm soft because I'm humble, and that's something that stuck with me forever. And I don't walk around wearing what my contributions are to the culture, any of that. My thing is about moving forward, bringing my brothers and sisters along with me, and that I look at as an equal. You know, the guy next door, I always want to see people prevail, excel, take things to another level, and that's what I was taught growing up in the streets of Brooklyn.
Oh wow, that's
from the street cats to the brother from the mosque to the whatever your religion was, and we learned a lot, you know. And from Dougie, with my man Dougie Fresh, and staying humble and being honorable. How do you survive in this industry all these years, Dougie Fresh? How do you survive all these years in this industry, Cliff? Because you don't abuse your power.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's beautiful.
People abuse this thing.
No, absolutely.
And they're corny with it.
No, absolutely.
They're so corny with it, and it's not that serious. It's just your job. You go home, and you make sure you make a contribution, and you help people. Don't have an ego, man. That ego messes everything up.
No, and it's so true. And I can say, as I said earlier, I would have never known your complete background. We never actually discussed it because we've always been in a real cool environment. But the level of humbleness that you have is unspeakable.
Thank you.
You have never, ever, not one time, put any of this on display in your actions, in your words. And I think that is just commendable. We all need to be a little bit more humble, bit more to the understanding of the third eye. I wanted to say
touch on that
third eye because that's important.
Jalil is very. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But he is very humbling, like you said, and you do learn a lot from him. So as I'm listening to you speak, I'm like, you know, because I feel the same way when Jalil speaks.
Right.
And you do learn, like you said, maintain your square. You know.
I want to hear a little bit about that third eye situation.
Well.
And then I want you to go in. Let me catch up. I want to talk just a minute or two about that, and then I want you to let us know what's happening now.
Okay. Well, you know, it's all about it's your, you know, whatever you believe in regards to your prayer and its meditation.
Okay.
It's all about the meditation. And mastering poise and just learning how to breathe. It's all in your breathing, and it goes deeper than that. Just to kind of touch it on the surface.
Yes, absolutely.
But,
I can relate
but you
to
just, you know, if you slow down, you can listen and hear.
No, that's true.
I was just saying that last week.
You know what I mean? You know, sometimes you could sit down with a person and they finish your sentence, or you ask them a question. You say, "Hey, can you hand me that glass?" But before you finish, they might, you just asked them to, did you hear what I said? Just hand me the glass. But they got to tell you what's in it, and it's not really glass, it's plastic, or it's plastic, and be careful. You just said, "Can you hand me the glass?" And it's the way.
No, I get it, but I'm digging the third eye because I dig the meditation part because I think it's important that we do apply that in our lives on a daily basis because it allows our mind to be clear to make good decisions. I dig that, the meditation, and I dig the slow down.
I think a lot of us in our community, we have black males. They think yoga is something that's not for us. And if you really date back to it, that's something that we brought over here as slaves, and that's something that was in our DNA, and that's something that we practiced in our culture. It's a part of that whole movement. So I think yoga is really important, and it helps develop you as you get older. And these are things that I don't talk about again. I just go, and the first time I went, it was life-changing.
Okay.
I'm standing in yoga class, and tears are coming out my eyes, but it was tears of happiness, just thinking about my daughters and their success and where my children are in life. So it was an eye-opener, because you're still. The room is, people, I don't know if I could do it. It's going to be too hot, and I'm too big, and I can't bend. And then overthinking about all of these things. And I'm like, I listen, then I counter and say, hey, you're missing the point. Okay. It's like whatever.
Don't miss the point.
Right. If you go to church, whatever you do, whatever your religion is, that's what yoga is.
Okay, that's awesome.
It's like going to church, to make it really simple. And you're in the room, and it's quiet, and you just hear the instructor and the teacher, and she's talking to you, but she's talking to you in a certain tone, and it's so relaxing, and you just go into this other space, and the music is being played light. And it's life-changing.
Life-changing.
I swear it's
life-changing. Did you hear that? Oh, no, listen.
Life-changing.
Life-changing yoga.
I wanted to touch on the breathing, because you said it's very important to breathe correctly. And I know that is true, but how does one train to breathe? You know what I mean?
Well, again, it's like if you're sitting up and when we get older, we talk or we're running, and we out of breath. But when you're younger, and it's sitting still, and you practice it, you have to practice breathing when you practice your chants or whatever it is. And I was interesting. I was looking at this thing with Omarion and his brother, and they were on, I guess, their Instagram page or whatever. But I saw it on YouTube, and him and his brother Orion was sitting there. And they just had a whole show on breathing and meditating.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
So you see Omarion singing and dancing, and you see this young man, but he was actually talking about breathing, and they were showing the techniques
how to breathe.
on how to breathe. It's really fly.
Wow.
And stuff like that is fly to me.
Okay, no, that's awesome.
I like that too.
I like that sensitive side. I like that part that you said you walked in there and started crying because it was tears of joy.
Awakening
Man.
moment.
And it was an awakening moment. I really appreciate that and sharing that part. But I also would like to know what's happening with you today. What are you working on? What do we have to look forward to? What do you want us to know?
Well, right now, me and my partners, we're dropping a beautiful luxury hat collection called Central Avenue.
Did you bring it?
Okay. For women and men.
For men and women.
Hey.
It's unisex. It's a beautiful collection. These are one of the samples I have on right here from the straw collection we're going to be coming out with next summer. And one of my brand ambassadors is this young man. He's a respected hairstylist. His name is Larry Sims.
Okay.
And he does the hair for a lot of beautiful A-listers, a lot of great people. And his hat, we came together and we designed some beautiful hats.
Okay.
And
we have a caller, excuse me.
I'm sorry, not to cut you off.
Okay.
Hi, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is Tricia, and I'm calling from Marina, Mobile.
Hey. Mobile in the house.
Ladies.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. I just want to call and say you tell us such an inspiration. I see you guys all the time.
But thank you. I'm glad we can inspire you.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so are you going to say hi to our special guest? We have Cliff Jones in the house.
Oh, yes, been listening. Hi, how are you?
He said he's good.
He said, hey, how are you? He said, hey, how are you? Put them now ladies down, girl. How are you? Where you from?
He said, where are you from?
Oh, you know the ladies only can go with.
Inglewood.
Inglewood. Oh my God, I love Inglewood.
Well, thanks for calling. I totally appreciate it. Enjoy.
Keep up the good word.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, okay, you too. Bye.
Inglewood.
After no good. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so we have the hat collection. We're gonna get back to that. You know, and what else are you working on?
Yeah, that's my primary focus. We're working out some things right now with Neiman Marcus.
Oh.
We have a beautiful collection. It's really high fashion. Larry Sims is our first collaboration, our brand ambassador. Then I'm going to go into my boy Mike Epps. We're doing some beautiful pieces with him. It's phenomenal. It's fabulous. And my sons are the face of the collection.
Oh my
Fletcher
God.
and Finley
Nice.
Jones.
Okay, all right.
They're representing the collection, and we're really excited about it. We're really excited about it. And
Where
I'll
can
see-
we see the hats, or can we see them?
We're
now?
dropping everything in October. We're going to launch. Our website will be up, and trust me, I'm going to give you guys the information so y'all could blast it.
Okay,
and
so
we're
we
getting
are.
ready, and it's going to be.
So
it's gonna
this
be fun.
October.
Yes, this
Okay,
October.
so you're having a launch
Excellent.
party.
We're going to have a launch. No, we're going to have a dinner.
Oh, gonna have a dinner.
We're
Okay,
there.
I like
We're
that
there.
dinner.
The
Okay,
ladies'
a little
room
more
is there.
You guys are there.
Okay.
dinner. Okay, that's awesome.
And we're going to have some
That's
beautiful
awesome.
people, some legends. I'm not going to say no names. You kind of touched on some people earlier that will be there. And I was and you said her name. But it's going to be really, really nice. A lot of tastemakers and people like yourselves that have a blueprint, that laid a blueprint, that are humble. And I love bridging the gap. I think God gave me that gift. And I'm old enough and mature enough to accept that.
Right.
That it's important to bridge the gap and bring people together that would have never ever met.
Exactly.
You would have never crossed paths.
Right.
Or you might have sought them out and you never thought that you would have a conversation with this person. But what better way to do business and talk to people in a room of 250 people and you're breaking bread?
Oh, that's awesome.
And you're strategically putting
Yes.
certain people next to one
Together.
another
Yes.
with their name tags. And that's important. And that's what Central Avenue is. Central Avenue is the name came from Los Angeles'
Central Avenue.
legendary Central Avenue,
Oh, yeah,
Los
yeah,
Angeles,
yeah, Central
in the
Avenue.
30s and 40s.
No, absolutely.
It was the 6-mile utopia radius of nothing but your best entrepreneurs, hotel owners,
Exactly.
the whole 9 yards. That was you guys' renaissance.
No,
And
it really was.
really
I've been studying the culture here for like 10 years, and I've been infatuated with the whole Central Avenue movement.
No, it was, and we lost it. You know, I mean, I love King, but with the whole integration thing, we integrated with them, and we lost our
And we
own
lost ours.
situations. You know, it was a good thing he did, but we lost.
Yeah.
Because now coming from there, owning hotels, owning our own businesses, and running that whole those 6 miles, we no longer do that. Now we started
Nowhere
taking our
here.
money to
The other establishments.
Yes, and we still doing it today.
Yeah.
So we lost. We won,
lost
but we
it.
lost.
Yeah.
But Cliff, it's been just such a pleasure having you here, and you have to come back. Once the line is actually launched, we definitely have to sit
definitely will
down,
pump that.
bring it, show our listening and viewing audience, and let's get it in.
We'll bring Larry back. And we're gonna
Okay,
do
that's
something
gonna be
really
awesome.
fly with him. We're gonna lay the hats out.
Okay.
And we're gonna have
I love hats.
And we're
I
gonna
need a
have
hat.
a hat party.
I need a hat.
Oh, he's at a hat party.
We're gonna have a hat party.
Upscale.
Absolutely, y'all. We're gonna sit up here and break bread.
Okay.
And y'all gonna sit here with Larry, not me.
Larry.
We're gonna sit here with
Okay,
Larry.
Larry.
Looking forward to
Okay,
it.
yeah, definitely. So that was it Larry Sims?
Yes, Larry Sims. Yes.
Okay, yes. All right, we got
I need
that.
a black hat. Well, it doesn't
Absolutely.
really matter the color. I just need a nice hat.
I'm gonna let you
I'll
pick
let
what
you
you
know.
want.
Okay,
I'm
that'll
gonna gift you
work.
guys.
I want to
That'll
say
work.
it's just been such a pleasure having you,
Yes.
and welcome to the ladies' room.
I'm so proud of you.
And you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you. I'm so
Really, really
proud of
enjoyed
y'all.
having you
Wow. Look at this set.
Boy, it is.
That's Felicia.
This is
Moist
so
Media
fly. That's my
Studio.
girl Redbone 2000. The poetess. Look at her over there, smooth.
Trying to act
Look
like
at
she
her.
don't hear us. Look.
She's smooth.
No
operator.
input. No input. Okay,
That's
so
my
I
girl.
think that's it for us today. So
It
we're going to
is.
be looking forward to next week.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you
And
so much
just
for
love
being
you,
our
Cliff.
guest today.
Thank you.
Love
Thank
you, love you,
you.
love you.
Bless.
We're out.
The Consortium of Health and Military Performance, also known as CHAMP, of the Uniformed Services University of Health and Science, known as USUHS, is conducting a study to understand a possible genetic link between sickle cell trait, known as SCT, and exercise-related events, known as EREs, such as exertional rhabdomyolysis, muscle damage, heat stroke, and or collapse. We are inviting African-American men and women with sickle cell trait and their family members to participate. Participating in the study will require you to complete a health history questionnaire, a form authorizing our study physician to gather health information from you and your healthcare provider, as well as a one-time blood donation. In order to qualify for the study, you must meet the following criteria: be African American, be sickle cell trait positive, be able to read, speak, and understand English, be between the ages of 18 and 80, and currently not being treated for any mental or psychological disorders. Participation is completely voluntary, and your decision will not impact your healthcare. The results for this study are for research purposes only and are not intended to directly benefit any individual for confidentiality reasons. However, the results of this study are intended to help better shape policies and associated health risks affecting the SCT community. Participants may be compensated for their time. To join the study, or if you would like additional information regarding the study, please contact the study team by phone, area code 240-479-9514, or email sctstudy-ggg@usuhs